Hey everyone, I want to once again remind you to fill out this whole top section. I will be checking for that when I check in your notes. So our topic is the unit 7.11 still, adding and subtracting integers. This is still Math 7. Hopefully you know your name and the date in which you're filling this out. Today we are going to be focusing on adding integers with unlike signs. So that means they're either one is positive and one is negative, or one is negative, one is positive. Unlike the last lesson where both were positive, both were negative. So let's review that lesson first though, because it is important to fall back on these rules at times. So here we have like signs. So the first thing you're going to do is scan the problem. I see two negatives. So that means if they're like signs, I'm going to add my numbers together. 6 plus 2 is 8. And we're going to keep the like sign. So keep sign. So it'd be a negative 8. So again, we scan the problem. Are they like signs? If so, we add the numbers and then keep the sign. Please pause and do this last problem on your own. All right, how did you do? Like signs we add and we keep the like sign. So on a number line, the positive numbers go to the right. But if it's a negative number, it will go to the left. So positive numbers get us more, where negative numbers get us less. So if we were solving using a number line, so if we were adding using a number line, we start with whatever the first number is. So we start there at negative 3. So I'm going to circle negative 3. I'm going to put a closed circle because I'm starting there. And I'm going to put an S above it for start. And then I'm adding 7. It's a positive number, so I'm going to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this, let me clean that up a little for you. This is my ending number. So negative 3 plus a positive 4 gets me to, positive 7 gets me to 4. Where if I start at, let's say 5, and I add a negative number, negatives go to the left because we're going down, we're getting less. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we end here. So 5 plus a negative 10 is a negative 5. So I want you to look at the numbers here and see if you can see a pattern. If you started with a 3 and a 7, so ignoring the signs, a 3 and a 7, my answer was 4. If we ended up with a 5 and a 10, my answer was 5. Here, the greater number was positive, and my answer was positive. Here, the greater number was negative, and my answer is negative. All right, let's see one more. The pattern between 3 and 7 to get to 4, 5 and 10 to get to 5, it looks like we are subtracting. So I'm guessing that this is going to be 9. And then here, when my greater number was positive, just like here, my answer is going to be positive. So this is what I think it's going to be. So if I start at negative 2 and I go a positive 11 towards the positives, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Sure enough, I end up at 9. So this was my start and this was my end. So, what observations can we make? What observations? So, what did we notice? I noticed, and again, it might be helpful for you to pause the video and write down what you noticed, and then come back and check to see how close we were. But what I noticed was if I had different signs, we ended up subtracting the numbers to get to our number answer. And we kept the sign of the greater number. And so really, that's the rule. To add integers with different signs, you subtract and keep the sign of what there's more of. So if there's more negatives, we're going to be left with the negatives. If there's more of. If there's more positives, we're going to be left with positives. So let's do some examples. Here I see, I'm going to scan. They're unlike signs. So unlike signs, that's the first thing we're going to do. So after we figure that out, we're going to subtract. 10 minus 8 is 2. And then what is there more of? There's more negatives. So there's 10 negatives and only 8 positives. So your answer is going to be negative. Here, again, I scan. I see unlike signs. So I know I have to subtract. So 13 minus 5 is 8. There's more negatives. So more of, and that's going to be your sign. So there's more negatives. There's 13 negatives and only 5 positives. So it's going to be negative. And this last one, negative 12 and 12 are opposites. So they're additive inverses, so we know that they equal 0. So again, recall the sum of an integer and its opposite always equals 0. And this is called the additive inverse. All right, that's it for today. Practice this rule, and I'll see you in class.